if someone's going through a divorce and they're trying to sell a home, which often becomes one of the stipulations of the divorce.
Yeah.
Because the home is a major asset, and in order to divide it, they can't chop off a piece of the home and take it with them.
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
Right.
Normally they have to sell it and then divvy up the proceeds.
Right.
How does that work?
Well, I think it's all things that we take for granted, right? And sometimes they've been divorced for years, or maybe they're not divorced at all.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, right. And
they're just separated.
There's
no
separated.
formal.
Maybe there was somebody else and they've just naturally the other person just moved away, or who knows what. There's a story for everything, right? So with that comes what we're going to talk about today.
Okay. All right.
Because
story time.
We kind of forget until we're in escrow. And then suddenly there's all of these, prelims that come out, talks about whose ownership. And then we say, oh, are you with so-and-so? And they're like, oh, no, this is not my wife that's been on title, because they don't think about having to take them off. Yeah. But in order for us to transfer to the new buyer, that person has to deed off. That's the terminology that we use. So we have to find them. And call them and say, here's what's going on. And then they have to sign a piece of paper saying that they don't get any of the whatever their deal is. And again, every deal is so completely different, right? Even in a divorce, right? Maybe they've been divorced for a couple of years and then the one party gets proceeds once it's sold, right? I mean, it's...
Well, the other thing we see sometimes is that one party has to sell it to the other party. Yeah. In other words, mom's staying there with the kids and dad's leaving. Yeah. And he's got to sell his portion to mom. She maybe has to take out a mortgage or do something to get the money to do that. Right. But that sometimes happens too, and that can be a little bit tricky as well.
So it's all sensitive stuff, but we do this all the time. So we're here to just help accommodate that in the best way that we can with the parties that are involved. And it's super easy to do. It's just getting the cooperation.
And you have to go through the process, guys. You can't, there's no shortcuts here.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
That's what the title insurance is. Right. The title insurance is I'm guaranteeing to that next buyer that what your situation is cleared up to transfer it over.
Right. So if you're a divorcee right now and you're saying, I was thinking about selling the house and maybe not telling the other person, I got bad news for you. That ain't going to work. That's not going to fly. And that's one of the reasons the state is a community property state, so that nobody can get burned there. Yeah. And I think it's wise.
And you can do that before you go to sell it. You can deed someone off. Right now. Like, we don't have to wait for it to be sold.
Oftentimes, the attorneys who are involved in a divorce, if they're involved, normally they're going to address the house. That's what they know. That's one of the most important elements to deal with is the real property, the assets that the couple has, and they're shared together. They need to be divvied up some way. And one of the big ones, of course, is the house. And so how does that done? Okay, if you sign it off to her and give her, she's going to give you this and or that or whatever. So those are the things that have to be dealt with. And yes, you and I have both dealt with these things, and we know how to deal with it. And I would encourage anybody out there, if you have a quality realtor, let them get involved with it, have them point you in the right direction. But if you don't have one, contact us. We'll help you out. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah. I don't particularly not enjoy doing a divorce deal, because sometimes it's challenging depending upon how the couple's behaving. Yeah. But I know it's important that they have somebody who has some experience and knows how to do it help them. Yeah. Because there are tricky elements sometimes to these transactions, including who's signing what and when. Mm-hmm. And let's make sure it's right.
And what does the divorce decree say? Right. Those are all things we got to know as well, so that we're compliant with what is really supposed to happen. Yeah. So we will ask for that. Because we want to know
It's interesting. A lot of times in a divorce situation, each spouse will have their own realtor. Yeah. And then they're going to have to slug it out over which one or how they're going to handle the deal. And so sometimes my client will call me, hey, Harvey, we're thinking about selling the home. Unfortunately, we're getting divorced. And I'll help, and I'll start to help them and realize that, oh shoot, I'm not going to be able to do this because they're going to hire the other person. And that happens sometimes, and I understand it. So you have to come to some agreement, some meeting of the minds, because she doesn't want you to use yours and he doesn't want you to use hers, and so forth. Happen. So it can get ugly. Sometimes you have to go out and find a neutral realtor outside of the group.
Everyone feels that theirs is representing them. Yeah. In their best interest.
And when you're doing a divorce, you have to make sure both sides are well communicated with, because otherwise they're going to get upset. Yeah. And so you can't assume that one side's communicating with the other. No. You got to communicate with both sides simultaneously all the time, everything. Right.
But it's important to address these things prior to, not when you're there to sign. Yeah. at the end of the escrow.
Well, we were just sharing a story. We were just sharing a story where it was interesting. One of my partners had a couple buying a house, and she had asked them, like we always do, hey, are you guys married? And they say, oh no, we're not married, but we're going to buy the house together. Okay, great. So they were buying it through a trust, his trust and her trust separately, and so forth and so on. And it was a cash deal, so it was really pretty simple. But then when they got to the signing table, and the escrow officer said, well, you guys aren't married, right? And he goes, oh, yeah, I'm married, just not to her. He's like, oops.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, okay. So we had to kind of clean that up. We were able to clean it up, and we got it fixed, and we ended up closing the deal for him. But it's nice to have that knocked out ahead of time. And asking the question, are you married?
Yeah.
I guess we should say, when they say no, say, are you married to anybody else? Is there anybody else we need to know about? I don't know if you have to ask that question to everybody, but maybe we do. I don't know. In that case, we kind of did.
Yeah.
And these things happen. No two deals are ever alike, right?
Never. No.
So there's always some twist or turn that we have to contend with. But our experience helps us in this matter, and our agent on the team, she did a great job of walking them through the process, and they were able to do the deal.
Yeah.
And close on the property. But just know this, guys. If you're getting divorced or you're in the midst of a divorce, just understand that the other side's they need to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be a secret sale.
No,
there's no such thing in Nevada.
No, because everything comes up with the names.
Yeah.
And if the person at the table is not the person that's on there, we're going to know. So
indeed, that's the way it works, guys.
Which is okay. To your point, it's fine. We're just going to help navigate through that process.
Even if it's in a trust, once you get the copy of the trust, you're going to see the multiple names on it. You go, okay, well, it's nice that it's in a trust. That's probably a good thing. But there's two names here. Who's the other person?
Who's the other person? Yeah.
Yeah, we need to know who that is and get that cleaned up as well.
Yeah.